Do you also know that persons with disabilities are resilient? They have no in their dictionary. They are all out there to make sure they succeed at every point and every given opportunity. I will tell you something, and trust me, that persons with disabilities are rugged. They can do what every other person can do. All they need is that support from me and you. Create an enabling environment where they can strive, where they can showcase their potential, what they can tell you who and what they are. Today in Nigeria, we have a lot of persons with disabilities doing great in their space. We have medical doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers, we have producers, we have broadcasters who are persons with disabilities. They work very hard to make a living for themselves. They do not believe in your charity. Yes, they don't. And so, on this episode of Against All Odds, this week, we want to celebrate workers with disabilities. That is what the month of May does, celebrating workers. And so we took our time to celebrate workers with disabilities. April was an awareness month for limb amputation. Yes. And on this episode, we're also celebrating the limb amputees who are also workers with disabilities. In spite of their challenges, they strive to be the best at every given opportunity. And this episode is a kudos to all of them. I urge you, please do not go away. Stay with us as we bring so much to your doorstep, creating awareness about limb amputation, what you need to know, where you need to go, how you need to approach it. Because today, it's them, tomorrow, it can be anybody. My name is Doshima Pius Ikeravi.
This is Against All Odds.
She took my measurement, cut the material,
person with disability passing by and people start saying, hey, yeah, you know, let me tell you the funny experience of persons with disability. A blind will be walking, it's just going on his own, and you see people stopping money in his hand, and someone is just going maybe to his place of work, and they will say, hey, yeah, and they start giving him money. That is charity model, because if you persons with disability should be pitied. They feel persons with disability that are object of pity, and then you see them start saying, oh.
As we celebrate workers with disabilities, we celebrate the resilience of all clusters who have against all odds strive through the ranks, attaining educational strides, and are working today in spite of all the challenges and obstacles created around them.
It's good for us to know that good policies will not translate to the kinds of rights that we expect to have, especially for persons with disabilities. So if I want to benchmark the content of the policies and what is happening in the lives of persons with disability in terms of work and employment, I would say we just had some level of awareness just to create or just to let the public know that people with disability can work. But it didn't translate to actually giving them the right to work. Because for that policies to see the light of day, it means the government would have taken into consideration, first of all, people with disabilities, their impairment, and how it interacts with their workplaces and environment. So my response to you with that didn't make much difference. It was just on paper. Unless you can show me the implementation strategy that simply, says how they were going to go step by step to addressing the barriers that people with disability, will face in their different workplaces.
Different forms of disability also have their assistive devices that make it easy for them to perform their duties. For example, if you're a blind person, what a blind person needs is just a laptop, and that laptops also need to have some software. Like they have a software they call Joyce. That software will make it easy for that person to actually perform some of his duties. And again, the office has to also be arranged in a way that that blind person can actually have access to that building. For somebody with physical disabilities like me, for somebody, a wheelchair user, you have to create ramps around the office. You have to also have elevators, lifts that can actually make it easy for the person to come to work, access every part of that building in order for the person to perform his duties. Again, the deaf also need someone like sign language interpretation. So maybe the offices have to employ some sign language interpreters within the office that can make it easy for those deaf people to actually perform their duties. Or they can also take option of the workers to also have some knowledge of sign language interpretation in order to make it easy for sign language interpreters to actually perform their duties. So again, government have to begin to now look into creating what we call disability allowance. Because why I am of the opinion that we should have a disability allowance is that some persons with disabilities find it very difficult for them to come to work. Some of them need aid. They need someone that can actually assist them. If somebody who have maybe a spinal cord injury person cannot come to work alone. So, and whatever the person that is coming to work with him is giving him an extra cost because you need to take care of that person.
That we have 15% in the law does not automatically mean we can uptake 15%. In the first place, what we need to understand is the question or answer the question of why are persons with disability actually not working? What are the challenges they are facing currently to gain employment? What is it that is in between them? Remember, these are very smart, intelligent people who have been to school with all straight A's and they've come out. So I won't be talking of capacity here. Throw that one aside. I'm talking of those who are intelligent, smart, they've had all the formal education that we equip them for work. So why are they not working? So that's the question we should be asking. 15% will be there, can be there forever, nothing will happen to it. If we don't systematically address the barriers that will stop persons with disability from obtaining this 15%, what is it that we have put in place to enable persons with disability to work comfortably within the workspace environment, take into consideration that is the language register, reasonable accommodation. I can unpack that, but this is not the forum to begin to unpack what reasonable accommodation means. So that 15% will be there until we are very intentional to removing the barriers or those barriers that constantly stand in the way of persons with disabilities from gaining meaningful work.
It's important to recognize those who have lost limbs due to various reasons, such as injury, illness, or congenital disabilities. Losing a limb can be a life-altering experience, and it takes courage and determination to adapt to the changes and move forward.
They were actually celebrating all amputees around the world, and apparently the Hope Initiative for Possibilities is actually Ava's initiative to help women and girls. So she has brought all members here in the FCT to tell them that they are not alone, to tell them that they have so much potential in them, and to also teach them how to come out and be confident that they are confident without their disabilities, that despite their challenges, they are not alone, but that they have so much more that are more positive things. What makes them is what they have in their head. So we focus on building capacity, mindset development, confidence building, self-esteem building, so that they can know that they can achieve whatever God has set out to do, and they can do it from today. They can go out there and win the world in terms of banking, any single area of life they can excel.
Many amputees face physical, emotional, and financial challenges as they navigate their daily lives. However, it's important to note that losing a limb doesn't define them or limit their potential.
I think this is the first of its kind in Nigeria, especially here in Abuja. So we really thank her for having the courage to come up with this project. I want to tell her that we are solidly behind her, and we believe that the one that will come up next year will be better. And my advice and encouragement to amputees is for you to know that before you became an amputee, you have your vision, you have your dreams, you have your goals, and they are still achievable. A part of you may be missing, but your spirit is still whole. So it's all about the mindset. It's the battle of the mindset. If you defeat in the mind, that means you are going to defeat physically. And also remember that you are destined to be whoever you decide to be in life. So amputation may be a limitation, but don't allow it to limit you from becoming whoever you want to.
It's first of all your mind. How do you see yourself?
Amputees can achieve great success in various fields, including sports, arts, and business, just like anyone else.
Being an amputee actually makes you unique, makes you stand out. Like you walk into somewhere and then everyone gets to notice you. Now also, there are people whose limb were amputated due to probably accidents and the rest, and then they had to struggle a lot physically and mentally to become who they are. So for you to be able to pass through a lot of things and still be strong, that is something unique about you. One very basic hindrance for an amputee to perform daily tasks is when you don't have assistive devices. Now, when we talk about assistive devices, we talk about wheelchairs, we talk about prostheses, we talk about crutches, and these things are quite expensive here in Nigeria. So if they are made affordable, one can be able to afford them. Then secondly, society. Most times you get people who get to stigmatize you and then make you feel like you're not up to a particular task. So if the society can actually get to learn about amputees or people with limb differences, it would make living better for us.
The Global Limb Loss Awareness Month provides an opportunity to educate the public about the challenges that the amputees face and the resources available to support them.
So an above knee prosthesis is a prosthesis that amputation that happens above the knee, basically called a transfemoral amputation, where a patient's knee is cut at this particular level, eliminating the knee and the foot. So we make a prosthetic device that has to incorporate the knee joint, the socket, and the foot. Likewise to this one. These are the same prosthetic lengths, but for different patients. This is a liner with a pin lock. So it's basically used to suspend the limb inside this prosthetic, so that the patient will be able to walk. So this is how it works. The liner goes inside the prosthetics and it is pumped. So you suspend the legs inside the prosthetic device, and you can also use this because the pin lock to unlock it from the liner. Going forward, this is a silicone foot. So it's basically for patients that have sort of ankle disarticulation and all the rest, or partial foot disarticulation. So basically you use the silicone foot to replace the missing parts. These are silicone insoles, different sizes and different shapes. This is a knee joint, a prosthetic knee joint. This silicone ear or a prosthetic ear that replaces the ear that has been cut off. This is also a prosthetic finger, the phalanges, to replace the phalanges of fingers that have been cut off due to injury. This is a silicone nose used to replace the missing part of the nose. So you actually make a mold of it and replace it. So you're able to have a cosmetic finishing or cosmetic fitting that looks appealing to the eye. Let's looking at it. So it depends on the patient that comes in with the amputation. We're able to recommend, okay, this is a 10-year-old baby that needs a hand and used to make silicone hand for the patient, so that the patient will be able to fit into the society and not being discriminated.
So it's still in the spirit of Workers' Day, celebrating persons with disabilities that are working. It is not easy that you find persons with disabilities out there on the streets ensuring that their work is done. Now, even as we celebrate persons with disabilities, we're also appreciating workers who go all out to ensure that persons with disabilities are comfortable. And so, in the spirit of Workers' Day, we're still celebrating workers who make sure that life is easy for persons with disabilities. You do all this, as in everything we saw out there is done here,
Yes,
in this room,
yes.
in Nigeria. Wow.
Yeah, basically we produce some of these things here. Everyone is being amputated. Take the measurements, do the casting, do the production, do the fittings, everything here.
There's something that I have always wanted to ask, and I think this is a good opportunity. People who do charity to persons with disabilities, bring wheelchairs, bring clutches, bring even limbs and all that, and they just give anybody. Can one fit all?
No, not really. Not really. You know, this customized we do based on individuals. How? Because we are not the same. Human nature, we are not the same. See, from the size you can see. So it's not that easy to get fittings equal.
Okay. So there's a process.
Yes, it's a process.
It's a process. Because, you know, sometimes these people just come with all sorts of things and they give it to, and we keep wondering, is it that my leg can fit into every other person's leg can fit into and all that?
No, human beings are not the same. So that is why we customize prostheses here.
Okay.
For employees, for the office employees software, we have different options. Because according to the work, we have to divide it. If it is an athlete They need very fast and strong processes. We design the processes for them like that. So if we see in the categories, we have around 150 different kind of processes only for the one level of amputation. If you go for the above knee, we have again 70 to 80 options. For the below elbow, we have 20 to 30 options. So like that.
Access to high quality prosthetics devices, rehabilitation services, and employment opportunities that can help amputees regain their independence and live fulfilling lives.
This is against all odds.
Physically challenged, the government can do more. They can set up physically challenged centers where those with disabilities, without family members to help them, can be registered there, and the government takes care of the abuse, takes care of even empower them with skills depending on the kind of disability they have. So there are so many things that can be done by the government to take care of its citizens and its physically challenged.
Government organizations where they are, even in offices, they should be able to incorporate the physically challenged, because in one way or the other, they may be able to use part of their body effectively to carry out functions in the office like any other person. So the physically challenged people should be given due attention and considered to be part of us as normal or human beings that we're supposed to benefit.
And educational, they are not left from being educated. They are human beings like us. So they need education, they need enlightenment. Just like the normal people go to school to learn, they can have places for such people where they can go to learn things, not just only handwork, but like to build themselves, their morale, create themselves so that they can fit into the society in large.
I am an amputee. I've been an amputee for the past 20 years, and I am so happy and so grateful to the world for being so kind to us, to giving us 30 days out of the year to always talk about our issues. And I am so happy because I get to let the world know that yes, I am an amputee. I'm proud of myself. I'm not ashamed of myself. I get to tell the world about my challenges, the issues I am facing as an amputee. I get to let the world share my story, my journey with the world. So I get to amplify my voices to the world, tell them about issues concerning an amputee and an amputation. So that makes me happy, and that inspired me to let the world know that, see, yes, we are amputee, we have issues, but the amputation does not define us, we define amputation. And I spearheaded this because I am one of them, and it's just okay that I do this. Aside from doing this, I know I'm inspiring, and I am an inspiration to other people listening to me. There are lots of persons with amputation out there that are not proud of themselves. They are still hiding. So through this media, I'm using this opportunity to showcase the beauty in amputation. And I know that if somebody is watching out there, somebody will be encouraged. And that is the essence of this program, to inspire somebody, to drag somebody out of his or her shell to come out and be proud of who he or she is. Amputation is not the end of the road. It's the journey. It's the beginning of another journey, a beautiful journey at that. So that is the reason why I am so happy about April, that I can't keep calm, because it is April and it is Amputee Awareness Month.
This is against all odds.
It is my responsibility, it is your responsibility to create an enabling environment for persons with disabilities to strive. Make them comfortable, that is all, and you will see the best, because inbuilt in them is the best, and all they will bring to you is the best. You know, when we're planning this whole production, and they said something, she said, Dosh, don't you think we should cut a cake that will celebrate workers with disabilities? are not just only workers with disabilities. There are a lot of persons without disabilities who encourage workers with disabilities, who encourage people with disabilities to become who they are today. Like
husbands that support their wife with disabilities.
Like
also siblings and friends who support their friends with disabilities.
Like colleagues in the office and caregivers who make sure that persons with disabilities move around in their work with ease. Thank you so much for everything.
And
like husbands that support their wife with disability. Happy Workers' Day.
Happy Workers' Day from Against All Odds. We love you.